Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Maddie and today we are going to be talking about what to do if you have a panic attack in an exam. This week I'm uploading a video every single day on something to do with exams because it's currently exam season. I really struggled during exam season and I definitely learned a lot. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So first of all, we're going to start with some tips for preventing a panic attack. Obviously, we want to catch your panic before it escalates into a full-blown panic attack in an exam. It's not the end of the world, but it's just obviously a lot easier to deal with and to cope with before. Tip number one, speak to your school beforehand. If you are prone to panic attacks, it's always best that your school know. This is going to be really beneficial to you because you can either ask them to sit near a door or sit at the back wherever you feel comfortable, or you can even ask them for special consideration where you're in a room either by yourself or with a really small group of people, which is what I did when I did my A-levels. And that definitely helped because I think the environment of like sitting in an exam hall with so many other people, it just, I mean, even people without anxiety gives them anxiety. Number two, make sure you are as prepared as you can be for number one, having a panic attack, and number two, obviously the exam. So if you've got techniques under your belt that you know you can kind of calm yourself down with, then that's gonna help. Obviously, it goes without saying, if you feel more prepared for an exam, then you're gonna feel less anxious for it. So my advice would be to just focus on the key aspects. Don't beat yourself up, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be remembering absolutely everything. Number three, do not talk to people about the exam beforehand. I feel like this is pretty much the number one cause of people's anxiety getting worse. I mean, you've got all this stuff going on in your head, you're worrying about the exam or whatever, and then other people pipe up and they say, oh, I've done 5 hours of revision last night, how many did you do? And you did your 1 hour. But what you need to remember is that everyone's at different levels. Like some people may need to do 5 hours, whereas you may have only needed to do 1. And even if you did, like, it doesn't matter, just don't listen to other people. If you can, then just talk to them about other stuff to distract you and take your mind off things, or if people really are trying to talk to you about the exam, just go off and have a walk and get a drink and whatever you can, if you can. Number four, make sure you are comfortable. So have you been to the toilet? I know this is like an anxiety in itself for me. Like, I have the anxiety that I'm gonna need to go to the toilet at unnecessary times, aka exams. So if you've gone to the toilet and then you keep needing the toilet again, remember that it is a symptom of anxiety and you don't actually need the toilet because you've just been. When you get into the exam, take some deep breaths, sit there for a while, don't rush straight into it, just be calm and then turn over the paper and begin. Number five, remember that everyone is feeling anxious. If they're not, then there's something wrong with them and they don't care about their exams. But everyone feels anxiety about exams to some level. Obviously, if you're actually diagnosed with anxiety, like, the level is very heightened. But remember that a lot of people are in the same boat as you, and a lot of other people will have been diagnosed with anxiety and will be worrying about the same things that you are worrying about. Number six, do not compare yourself to people when you're in the exam. If you glance to the person next to you and they're already on question 20 and you're still on question 5, do not panic. Everybody works differently. Some people may well be going through and doing all the difficult questions first or all the easy questions first, so don't panic if you're not at the same stage as someone else. And number six links in with this, so make sure you keep an eye on the time. You will know, judging on the time and judging on like what question you've got to and how many more questions you've got left, if you are in the right place. But don't be constantly watching the clock because that is definitely not good for your anxiety. And number eight, avoid perfectionism. You do not have to be perfect in an exam. You are literally only there to do your best. You have learned everything, you've prepared for this, so don't worry if you make mistakes. However, if you do all of the above tips and you still feel a panic attack coming on, then here are some tips on how to combat that. If you feel a panic attack coming on, put down your pen, stop what you're doing, and we're gonna wanna distract you from what is going on up here. So tip number 1 is to remember that no one can notice you're panicking. It is all up here. You may well be worried that other people are gonna look at you weird if you start panicking, but trust me, everyone else is in their own bubble. Without meaning to sound rude, like, they don't care about you. They may be in their own bubble of panic, so don't worry about other people. Number 2 is visualization. So what I like doing is I like thinking of something I love, aka my friends and my family, or my dog Lola. Whenever I think of my dog Lola, I'm instantly happy and I feel less panicky. Or you might want to think of a place that makes you really happy. It may be a real place that you've been to or a fictional place, just imagining yourself led on a desert island somewhere sipping a cocktail. Number 3, distraction. One of my favorite distraction techniques that I have talked about a lot is to pick a topic, say item of clothing or fruit and veg, and then go through the alphabet and think of one for every letter. This is really good because it's such an easy thing to do and it forces you to focus on something completely different. You might want to distract yourself by thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. You might want to look around the room and say the different colours that you can see. Number 4 is breathing. So a lot of the time we just get told to take deep breaths. This is good, but I have some even better techniques for you. So number 1, this includes visualization as well, so it's really, really helpful. You're going to imagine you're drawing a square and each side is either an in breath for 4, an out breath for 4, an in breath for 4, or an out breath for 4, and keep on drawing the square as many times as it takes you to calm down. Another technique, which I have mentioned before that my psychiatrist told me, is called the hummingbird technique, I believe. So basically what you do is you take a really quick breath in and then hum as you release the breath slowly. Number 5 is positive self-talk. Now, I should have included in the tips before to give yourself a lot of positive self-talk before you go into the exam. However, it is definitely helpful in the situation where you feel a panic attack coming on to reassure yourself, because you're the only one that's sat at the desk that can reassure you. Just say to yourself, I've got this, I've prepared for this, I know everything on these subjects, and I'm gonna do really well. A tip I always give, and I have given in so many of these exam videos, is to use sarcasm. If you don't feel like you've actually got this, just be really sarcastic and be like, well, obviously I'm going to do the best in the whole school with this exam. Number 6, ease the tension by doing some neck stretches. You may be worried about what other people think about you, but trust me, they're not watching you, and stretching your neck is not the weirdest thing to be doing in an exam hall when your neck is like constantly like this. So from side to side like this, up and down. Roll your shoulders forwards, backwards, and if you're in a room all by yourself, you may as well shake it all out, or if you're in front of loads of people, just with your wrists, with your hands. Give them a little break from writing so much. Number 7 is to avoid catastrophizing. This is what we do when we have a panic attack. We think everything is the end of the world. So to stop catastrophizing, we're going to think rationally. Remember that this is literally just a school test. I know these exams may seem like the be all and end all of everything, but they are not. There are so many options for you if the exam doesn't go to plan, but it will, because you're going to do amazing. So before you go into the exam as well, it's worth grounding yourself and telling yourself that these are literally just exams. I know obviously they may be a stepping stone to getting to your goal of a career or whatever it is, but there are other routes that you can take to get to said goal, and also your path may change. Like mine, ending up doing YouTube, I wanted to be a lawyer. Number 8, once you have gone through all of these, continue telling yourself positive thoughts that you've got this, and go back to the question. And if you still feel like you can't do the question and you're still feeling really, really panicky, then just put your hand up and the invigilator will come over and talk to you, and then they can take you outside to get some air, have a sip of water, just sit on the ground. Remember to breathe. If you need to cry, have a cry, let it all out. Letting emotions out is a good thing. Remind yourself that exams aren't everything. Your mental health is the most important thing in your life. By doing all of these steps, you are looking after your mental health and you are prioritizing it. Hopefully the invigilator will let you back in and just make up the time at the end. If you have to retake the exam, you have to retake the exam. Just whatever happens, know that there are options, and also know that your grades pretty much become irrelevant the moment you get into college or the moment you get into uni. Like, I don't think anyone has asked me what I got in my GCSE or my A-levels in the past 4 years. Your GCSE results or your A-level results or whatever exam results they are only a reflection of you at that exact point in your life. You're gonna go through so much, you're gonna change as a person. They can't define you because they're in the past. So yeah, I really hope these tips have helped. Remember that you are not alone and you can do this. We are not going to let anxiety win. We are going to power through. I say this like I'm doing exams. You guys are going to power through and you're going to get really amazing results. So do let me know if these tips helped and give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. Like I said, I'm doing a video every single day this week, so stay tuned for tomorrow's video, and I'll pop the previous videos links in the description below, and I will see you tomorrow at 5 PM for a new video. Goodbye.